Well, Dr. Lipari, I'm so thankful that you're able to share with our people today a little bit about our office and what they can expect when they come in.
Sure. I mean, I think that's a great idea, and thanks for having me talk about it a little bit. But basically, I think, just fertility problems or infertility in general is an extremely stressful event. So I think this is important for people to understand what to expect when they're coming to an office. I think if you know what may happen, that it will relieve some of the stress that a lot of people think about. And because infertility is probably one of the most stressful things that couples go through, I think it's an important idea to kind of just know what happens when I walk into the office. What's the doctor going to tell me? Am I going to need some super expensive type procedure, or is there a way to really figure out what's going on? So, in our practice, the most important thing is to come up with a diagnosis and come up with an evaluation type protocol where we can isolate where these problems might be. And the way that we do that is actually we always look in four specific areas, and any fertility specialist should do that. We should look at ovulation or release of the egg. We should look at anatomy, so we want to make sure that the tubes are able to carry the sperm and the egg and the embryo for that matter. We want to make sure the inside of the uterus is a good environment for a baby to be growing. We want to check the biological clock, so we'll talk about that more probably at another time. And then we also want to make sure that the sperm are okay. And if we look at all four of those things, we should be able to isolate exactly where the problem is, no matter if it's an ovulation issue or it's a problem with the fallopian tubes or a problem with the sperm. And when we do that, we basically take one cycle to kind of figure all that out. A lot of it is kind of based on a thorough history. And then once we get to the end of the cycle, we have all of our answers. And then we sit down and we go through all the tests that we did, what each test means or doesn't mean, what we can do about it, and then every fertility option. So most people, believe it or not, don't know that their insurance covers all of this diagnostic stuff. So even though it sounds like a huge thing to go through, at least one of the stressors that can be removed is the fact that we can figure this out for the most part just through diagnostic and by utilizing insurance coverage. When we start talking about treatment options, that's where things kind of change a little bit. So most insurances don't cover insurance treatments, but there are some lifestyle modifications and things that can be done in a much more natural way so people do not require the super aggressive type treatments, which we certainly do sometimes, but it's important to know that there are a lot of different options available to you.